We don't know what we're doing, but we just do it.
Hello.
Mr. Walters,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
how are you doing tonight?
Good, good. What's going on?
Well, this will be our first official, like, trans-state Better Late Night Than Ever show. You
Yeah,
being in
it's exciting.
Texas?
Breaking new ground. It's like a
Yeah.
intercontinental house of pancakes
Yeah. Big time.
or something.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Put a little syrup on there.
That's right. Maple, nothing weird, just maple.
And another major feat is probably is our earliest recording, as you pointed out.
Yeah, we're not drunk. I'm not. I'm assuming you guys aren't either.
No, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's exciting. I still got about half a jug of your vodka here too, so
Well, that's nice. That's refreshing to know.
it's waiting for you next time you're in town.
Well, I haven't seen you in a while, and as I mentioned earlier, we have our this may be our first like featured guest. We've got the
Yeah.
Thommy Price here tonight.
Yeah. How you doing, Tommy?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. I've seen you play the drums, but I've never met you. Pretty impressed by your skills.
Yeah, he's got some skills.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff. What are y'all planning to do for the evening?
What would you say, Tommy? A little Easter dinner?
Little Easter well, I'll be cooking. We'll all be cooking, and we'll be eating, and kids will be making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And we're just going our normal Sherman, Connecticut routine.
Yeah, a little shenanigans up here, and
Shenanigans up here, and the wives upstairs, bad kids downstairs.
yeah, kids running around. It's a full house, man. So we're like tri-stating it because we got New York, Connecticut, and Texas. It's like big time.
That's right.
Oh, y'all aren't together?
No, we're together here, but
Okay, I got.
yeah, it's just where things collide.
Gotcha.
So what?
Well,
Whit and I like the big. Well, you go first. Whit, do you have any questions you want to start with? Just fun stuff.
No, I don't. I didn't prepare anything. I
Well-
didn't take any. I didn't write down any notes. So let's just go free form.
Well, that's how we do it anyway. Like, what
Yeah.
are notes?
Exactly.
We
Yeah, I
like-
know. We had a plan to have some people over this evening, and everybody. The weather is kind of weird down here. It got cool, and it's been threatening to rain, and everybody's kind of decided to stay home. So I'm gonna lone wolf it tonight.
Mine is, we all like the film stuff. True Detective, Thommy. Opinion.
Yeah, well, that's I'm all about crime stories, and I'm all about Law and Order and True Detective, Criminal Minds, anything that's got to do with bad people and good people and cops and robbers. I was trying to turn Joey on to this afternoon. He didn't know anything about the Bowery Boys, which is a New York icon sort of series that was filmed in like the 40s and 50s, based out of New York. And I think that's where it all started. I mean, Edward G. Robinson, they did Humphrey Bogart. They did like cameos in the Bowery Boys. Kind of, every once in a while you'd see them guys in their series. But yeah, I'm gonna turn Joey on. I'm gonna make him watch the Bowery Boys later on tonight.
It'll be good research for us, Whit. I'll shoot you a link. Whit and I like throwing ideas around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else. I didn't prepare either. And I'm sitting next to the guy. I've seen him all day. Pretty funny. My favorite thing, Tommy, is when I get into a car, I have the radio playing, and then there's a song that comes up, and I know you're drumming in it. And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, that's funny. I'm in a car listening to the song. I can picture this guy drumming. And it just is like, oh, like you know something more than the other guy.
Yeah.
Even the disc jockey that put the radio on. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to see that guy this weekend. So those are funny biz is what I call it. Little biz facts.
Yeah. Well, it was even funnier when, in the day, when those records were top 10 records, and I'd be in the car with my best girl next to me, and all of a sudden, within an hour, there'd be 3 songs that come on the radio that in 3 different bands that I just happen to be on. So that was talk about impressing a chick.
How sad are we, Whit? All we can say is, oh, we can hear a song. We know that. Hey, woman, I know that drummer. Yeah, you're not the drummer. See you later.
That's right. Tommy, I remember reading some stuff, and you played with Billy Idol, didn't you? At some point.
Yeah, I played with Billy most of the 80s, from Rebel Yell through Whiplash Smile, pretty much from, let's say, 84 to 89.
The big years for him, for sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, I was also, whenever I was off with Billy, I'd be playing with Joan Jett. So I was doing her records too, and just I was hired pretty much as a hired gun, studio musician. So I played on throughout the 80s. I played on a lot of hit records that people not really kind of aware of. They think that because I play with the Blackhearts, it's just the records that Joan has made that I play on, but I've played on a few of Billy's records too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How much has your kit changed over the years? Are you using a similar kit that you played in the 80s? You played something totally different?
It's scraped down to the very basic they call it the American kit. It's very, very basic, like Charlie Watts kit. Very, very basic. One tom, one rack tom, 1 or 2 floor toms. Very, very basic. Very scaled down. In the 80s, I'd use, a bunch of tom toms. I'd have a 15-piece kit set up.
Yeah.
But that was only because. I was able to get away with it.
So
that was the deal back then.
Everybody had big kits and
like the double bass, right?
No, I never played double bass drum. I never did that.
That's a fun fact to know.
That was one thing. Even though I'm a Keith Moon fan, and he played double bass drum, I never really got into that. Because my style is very, very simple. It's very basic and very simple. So I never found the use to use 2 bass drums on any records.
Yeah, you're not trying to be Lars Ulrich. You're keeping it in the pocket.
No. Although there were 2 records that I was hired for, like the mid '90s, I want to say. There was a band called Spread Eagle. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Spread Eagle, and the other band was called Cycle Sluts from Hell.
Perfect.
And I've actually heard of that band.
Oh yeah. There were 4 girls. There were 4 girls, and there were all 4 girls were lead singers up front. And
so they had like total chorus, like
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. But those 2 records, they asked me to do some double bass drum work on, and pulled it out of my can and did it. So if you research that, you'll hear me on Spread Eagle and Cycle Sluts, and those were probably the only records I ever did back then that had double bass drum playing on it.
It's too bad those bands didn't last, because those are both pretty perfect names, really, when you think about it.
Well, believe it or not, the Cycle Sluts were very, very big in Europe. They sold a whole lot of records there, and they still tour there.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big wow.
And then also, I've gotten to see you, Thommy, play with your own band down in a few places in New York, which
yeah, the East Village.
in the East Village, it's really neat. We know our music scene there in San Antonio, with in New York, it's different. Just it just has that like embedded, just the history of rock and garage band going to their first performances, kind of thing. So,
yeah, it's called the better scene, is what it is. The better music scene.
Yeah, yeah, the better one.
Yeah, there's better bands, and they're probably playing every night. So.
And I always thought that was pretty neat to witness. The Knitting Factory, I think, was one of the later or last one of the later shows I'd gone to.
That was probably one of the last shows I did.
Yeah.
It was it was actually advertisers.
Or do you play guitar?
Oh wait, go ahead. What's that, Whit?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. With your other band, do you play drums also, or do you play guitar in that band?
No, I don't play drums at all. I play guitar and sing. You know.
Okay.
I pull kind of a Dave Grohl kind of thing. I had to hire another drummer, because in reality, I'm really a frustrated guitar player. You know.
No.
Is that it?
I think so, Joey. I mean, I love guitar. I mean, I have a collection of guitars. I love guitars, but I just happen to be a better drummer, so that's how I make a living. But if it was up to me, I'd be playing guitar, really. But
yeah, I started out playing drums and never got very good, but I still have a kit. But I've always wanted to be a guitar player too. So it's that frontman syndrome. You want to be the frontman.
Yeah, I think it is. I think, you know, for as many years as I've been sitting in the back, driving the bus, being the guy that's kind of like got the mask on, you know, I always wanted to be up front, singing and playing guitar. And I mean, I write songs at home and record them on guitar. Everything I do is on guitar. Yeah. So, and I have a nice collection of guitars, like I said.
Yeah.
Well, what you're a guitar like aficionado kind of guy. What's your favorite guitar, Thommy? And then you can compare your favorite guitar with, like, battle of the favorite guitars.
No, goodness, I don't know. For me, the Les Paul Jr. You know, the traditional Johnny Thunders guitar is my favorite. The Junior, you know,
just the stripped down one pickup.
Stripped down one P90. You know, stripped down one P90. You know, fat neck. That's my favorite guitar. Yeah.
Kind of a 50s style.
You know, and you can't go wrong with a gold top. You know, Les Paul gold top.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Whit? What's that guitar that like, I don't know, were we doing rockabilly earlier? Like I don't know guitars. So throw one at us.
Well, I'm usually an acoustic guy. I haven't owned an electric guitar in several years, but I bought a mahogany Martin model that I'm really in love with. But I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. I got a pretty good deal. It's a little banged up, but it just gives it character. But electric guitars, you know, it's always a toss-up between Fender and Gibson. But I want a pointy guitar. I want an Explorer Flying V.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
So badass.
Well, guess what I got? I got a Firebird. I got an old Firebird I picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always, you know, and I go pawn shopping pretty regularly. You're not going to find a guitar like that at the pawn shop. Of course, you can find the Epiphone counterpart, but, you know, I'm waiting to find the Holy Grail, walk in and find somebody who doesn't know what they have.
Like that one desperate guy who, like, he got divorced. The chick's not going to get the ring back, and all he's got is that one prized little guitar. Goes to that local pawn shop, and he thinks he's going to get it back, but he loses his job. But you show up that day, you'll find it, the Holy Grail.
Yeah, I'm not a band guy. I would never be in a band, but I'd love to have one just to play and pump around on their phone. But
I finally got. I always wanted a Telecaster, and because I'm a Gibson, you know, I love Gibson guitars, but I always wanted a Fender, that twangy sound, because everything I own is got either humbuckers or P90s, you know, all my guitars. But I finally found a really nice Telecaster, traditional, like early telly, just a couple of months ago, in fact, in New York, and picked it up, and man, it is beautiful. Is
it an older American guitar?
It is actually a Frankenstein guitar. It was built.
They're kind of like a custom coach built.
It's a custom. It's from. It was built for me from parts at 30th Street Guitars in New York City. A good friend of mine, Matt, that owns the store. I told him what I wanted. I told him that I just needed it for recording. Wasn't, you know, taking it out to go on the road with, and just needed the basic telly pickups, you know, maple neck, and he put together a nice little guitar for me, just kind of, you know, from parts that he had laying around. And this is a guy that does, like, you know, he works on all the Jones guitars. He builds guitars for Dave Grohl, for everyone in the business, you know.
It's like getting fit for golf clubs.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it got that crazy.
I mean, because first of all, I'm not a good. I mean, this is just from my home studio for recording. I mean, I'm a drummer. That's, you know, that's. I'm not going to go on the road with this guitar. I just needed a Telecaster sound for my recordings.
You know, one of the different options for a different sound on a different song.
Yeah, I wasn't about to go spend $3,000 on a, you know, an old Telecaster, you know, like a late '60s telly that, you know, I mean, I just needed its telly pickup sound for my for a couple of records, you know, and that's what I got, and it was brilliant. Yeah, saved me a lot of money, and he's a good friend of all of ours, you know.
It's a nice hookup, because it's the sound and the feel, the hold of the guitar and all that good stuff, and then, you know, if they can get the sound that you want to produce out of it.
Yeah, they knew what I needed it for. So I wasn't, like I said, I mean, if I was a guitar player going out on tour playing guitar, I'd go out and spend $3,000 or whatever, you know, but in fact, I didn't have to spend that much money on it, so I just needed the pickup sound.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Thommy. Give us something like a favorite new band, like who's.
Oh Christ!
No, I know it sucks. They all suck, but well, it could be an older band. What do you? I love New Order. I always find myself playing it. They've been around a long time. What do you like to listen to?
You know what? You know, whenever I do listen to any music, it's always old music.
Well, tell me. That's what I'm going for.
I mean, I like the new music. I like Bruno Mars.
Look, it was a
I
bullshit
like
question.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boys. I mean, I like a lot of the new bands, but they're kind of like, here today, gone tomorrow, kind of.
Okay. Hey, Whit.
Yeah.
Can I rewind my question? Like, can I go back in time for a minute? Because I totally fucked that one up. Here's what I meant to say. Thommy, when did music lose it? When it just wasn't like... Okay, can I rewind that one? Yeah, I feel like after the 90s. When it just became
totally right.
like manufactured
You're right. Because
kind of stuff. I don't care about bands and stuff like that, but I mean, there is that. Like, I've seen Thommy play... we've all gone to live shows and all that. And it feels good. It's like when you're there thinking like, it's when bands had like their studio recording that was polished, and then you could go see the same band live, which wasn't as polished as the studio, but they both had their different, like, just golden, and like you could just felt it, like it just all was there. They were the same substance. Now I feel like we just have this high polished, studio produced, by the numbers kind of thing.
Really recorded
like a formula,
like it was back then. Everything is, I mean, thank God for digital. I mean, I'm all for digital, but there's so many variables with digital. You can replace anything in a second like that. With digital stuff these days. I mean, what I find really hard to swallow is that when you're watching TV and you hear a commercial on TV, guess what the music is in the background? Either a 70s band or an 80s band.
Yeah.
It's either The Who or Led Zeppelin, or nobody can write a goddamn song anymore. People are sampling stuff,
and we'll agree that with the sampling, it's just the old stuff they regurgitated.
That's all it is.
Like
that's
an
all
indie
it
YouTuber
is.
Band that got all popular.
It really is. That's a good word, Joey. Regurgitating all the music, all the real music that was made. No one can really do that anymore. No one. I mean,
the people that are making that music are making it in front of a computer and taking bits and pieces of other songs, and they're not musicians. I mean, they can't play an instrument. Maybe they can play a DVD or play a simple, maybe a simple beat on a drum kit, but they're not musicians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
They couldn't sit down and come up with a chord progression and a melody line over that, and then a vocal melody on top of that. There's no way they could do it, but they can cut up little chunks of cashmere and put it in, with a different drum beat or a different bass line, and make
that's my point, man. That's my point.
There's no musicianship anymore, and that's the problem. And the people who enjoy that music don't care about it either. They're not the kids that are taking piano lessons and taking drum lessons and guitar and blah blah blah. They're just sitting there listening to this exactly right regurgitated crap, and they're just taking it in. It's just like TV. It's just like movies being remade. People don't.
Right, the remake.
But it's a sad situation because it's almost like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. You don't even have to be a musician to make a record. I mean, the new Beyonce record, there's no, as I heard and read, there are absolutely no real instruments on that record.
That's whack.
I mean, that's just bad.
You'll like this other little, I call it another fun little fun fact. I've known Thommy long enough that I've seen his transition from analog recording equipment into using digital equipment. Before it was just recording separate tracks on tapes. I forgot what the machine was you were using.
Yeah, just had a TAC 12 track, you know.
Right. And
yeah.
you would start out with a guitar to get like a beat and then go from there.
Well, I'd start out with a drum machine and
Mm-hmm.
record that and build on that. But, I mean, I was old school. I had a Lynn drum machine.
Right. But here, what my point is, like, we're here with you, we're talking about music, is to see that he didn't change, like, the music or the idea.
No.
The technology changed, and the only hurdle for you was to, okay, you got to learn and adapt
Figure out
the
how
new
to use
digital
it.
crap, but
yeah.
you're still going to produce what you intended to produce initially.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, like, today it's almost the opposite. It's like, oh, I got this computer. I can manufacture a Beyonce-type formula sound and get it done. So you hire the intern that's computer savvy to get on the little keyboard.
And you can make a record in your basement, in your room. In this room, we can make a record.
And I just like witnessing that where you have a man who's just musically infused with his life, body, and skill, adapt from analog to digital, and not abuse it.
Yeah.
It was just more of a.
It was actually scary for me. I mean, I was like afraid to learn how to go digital. I mean, I got rid of my 12 track only a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But can you imagine that with, like, because on a computer you just hit a button and, oh crap, I erased my hard drive.
Yeah. But I had to have someone come in and show me, how to go. I mean, once you get to, once you get to know how to use it, it's still hard. You still run into walls, but.
Well, but you're running into when you're talking about running into walls. Are you talking about a creative wall? Or are you talking
No. I'm talking about digital wall.
Yeah, you get to the point where you don't know the next step for whatever you need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, where was that tool again on that stupid window screen?
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally not a creative, and that's the frustrating part because you want to get to that next step creatively. You want to get to that next step, but all of a sudden you're like, okay, so I enter this, and I got to type in this, and okay, I got to go to there and erase that and delete that, and by the time you get to it, you forgot your freaking idea.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is with real things. Like, hey, let's bring up skateboarding. It's like a for real stick on wheels. You jump on it. You have to meditate, think about the trick, how you're going to pull it off. It may be injury. It may be success. Where in the digital world, you're stuck and confined to a keyboard and a mouse. You're dragging and dropping things.
Sure.
Where, the for real analog world, you're playing, you're pushing strings or buttons.
Everything is on a piece of tape. You can't lose that. I mean, I was freaked out a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, I'm working in my room, and I thought I lost all my information, and I had to get Stephanie in, my wife, who's very, savvy with the computer. I mean, I was pulling my hair out, and this is like 8:00 in the morning. I was like, what did I just lost all this information for this song. And she pushed one button and boom, everything was back. It's like, okay, see, I don't need this.
I mean, what do you think about guys, and you brought up Dave Grohl's name earlier, that's the only reason I mentioned him, but what do you think about bands that are going back to, recording through a console on a 2-inch tape? Do you think that's something that you're going to see more recurring, or is it?
I absolutely think that you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of that. The studios that we've been working in the past couple of years, every one of them has bought old Ampex machines, 24-track Ampex machines.
Oh, they're picking them up.
They're picking them up again.
Because they like that true recording sound.
Yep,
of them all.
It's the 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
So they're going back to the analog but still sticking to the digital. But there's a certain warmth, you know, that analog has. You know, it really is. It really is a big difference. I mean, it's not as clear as digital, but it is a certain sexiness. If you,
well,
you know.
I read an article about this years ago, and I can't remember what magazine it was in, but this guy was talking about the reason, and you have to be a real audiophile to know this, and I'm not, or you know, realize the difference. But he said that analog in a sound wave is an arc, and
is a what?
digital is an arc.
An arc.
It's a smooth arc sound.
Yeah.
And digital is a series of blips. It makes the same arc, but it's blips along the arc. So you're missing something here. There's always going to be something inherently missing in between those blips.
Right,
Even,
like a sound wave versus like bits.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the and you got to have the best audio equipment in the world to probably hear the difference. But I think even to an amateur ear, you could tell there's a difference between an analog recording and a digital. I think even you tell the difference.
All I could say is that I could still listen to a Led Zeppelin record, which is all digital, or a Who record. Any of those records that were made back then, and they still stand up to any record today that's made. And call me old-fashioned, but I mean, I just drove about an hour ago to go to the deli and pick up some food, and I heard the Boston record, the first Boston record. Now that was recorded in Tom Schultz's basement, for crying out loud. Digital 8-track wasn't even 24-track.
Wow.
And that record stands up to any record today that you can imagine.
Yeah, but that guy, you got to hand it to him for being a studio magician and inventing stuff that's still used today. And I wish I could remember what that Rocktron or what the invention came up.
Yeah, it was the Rockman. Yeah.
Rockman, yeah.
Rockman. Yeah. Tom
If you've got a guy at the helm that can create stuff like that,
I'm
you're
telling you.
record.
It's amazing. I mean, Steve Stevens on the Rebel Yell record, he used the Rockman all over that record.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, everyone was using the Rockman, and that was a Tom Schultz invention.
Yeah. Speaking of Zeppelin, what's your take on John Bonham from a professional drummer's perspective?
Oh, well, I love him. I grew up on John Bonham and Keith Moon, and that's my influence. What can I say? I mean, I do the Bonzo Bashes every year with the guys from New York, all the drummers that are in New York. They do this thing called Bonzo Bash, and they do a couple of hours of Led Zeppelin songs, and each drummer gets to play a couple of Led Zeppelin songs. But yeah, I grew up on Led Zeppelin and Keith Moon, and that's pretty much, I'm somewhere in the middle of both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those guys that,
Yeah, it never gets old, man. I can watch a video of John Bonham, and I'm still amazed at the stuff he did, and people still try and figure out how he did certain things. Just like Buddy Rich and Gene Krupa. You watch those videos of those drummers, and there's this one video with Buddy Rich called The Impossible Drum Solo. That's, if you Google that, you will see this drum solo. It's almost impossible to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that for sure, because I think I may have seen that at one point, but then the way you're describing it, I'm sure I haven't.
It's pretty I mean, from a drummer's perspective, it is an impossible drum solo.
Right.
The man and I'm talking about this was maybe mid-70s, late 70s, I want to say, with his big band. it's just stupid crazy.
Yeah, and he always played like he was mad at the drums too. He didn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't tapping around. He was really getting after it.
No, that's the way you got to play. Yeah.
Usually with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth too.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta have an attitude, man. You gotta have an attitude. You gotta have something worth going up there and playing for. Something in your head, or something that you're thinking, okay, this is gonna happen later on.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. You gotta have some kind of point, even if the music don't move you. You know, which for me it does with the Blackhearts. You got to have something else to look forward to.
Yeah, it's percussion, like the drums and percussion. It's just a fun, important part of the whole deal. I'm a big fan of like the bass, but it's just like when it all comes together, like the front guy, the drummer, the guitarist, the basses. It's just. I think the most fun with music, and I think when they started separating all that, digitally, like having people come in separately, record different things, that they lost a lot of the heart and soul of that music. Instead of just accepting like all the band in a recording studio, the first or second, maybe third take, and run with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all those old R&B records, that came out of Memphis and. Sun Records, all those great records.
Mm-hmm.
Those weren't like 12 takes. Those were like first takes, second takes. That's it.
Yeah. Well, they were on tight budgets, probably too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were all playing live in the room too.
They were all playing live in the room,
yeah.
And even with the singer. The singer maybe might have been in an ISO booth, but. They were all there at the same time, playing at the same time. And that's so important. That's so important. All playing at the same time. It
teaches you, not only fundamentals, but it teaches you how to interact with other musicians, which is just another form of communication. It teaches you how to be a better communicator.
Yeah, I think you're right, Whit, and it sets the vibe. You guys are there. You're playing off each other. It could be.
You really are. Yeah. That's why when the Blackhearts record, we all like to see each other. I mean, we like Joan likes to if she's behind a wall doing a dummy vocal, like a scratch vocal to get us through the song. She needs to see all of us. I mean, we all need to see each other, and that's I think that's really important. That's one of the it's like rock and roll 101 recording, man. All being there at the same time in the same place. I mean, you can overdub anything you want later on, but the basic track, you can tell those early Who records or Led Zeppelin records. Those guys were playing in the same room.
Right.
Jimmy Page didn't come in a day later
and come in and
play guitar.
It's amazing that we've gone so far from that, because I find myself listening to a lot of the earlier, I would say mostly 60s, 70s type music, but we like the slight imperfection. And we don't even think of imperfection. We think of real people showing up to record, and that's what you got, and you felt it. It was like kind of like it was just for real. It wasn't a.
Some of those imperfections are masterpieces. Like you wait for that mistake, like on a Rolling Stones record.
Right.
When Bill Wyman hits a bad note,
right.
which he did very often. Or Charlie Watts missed the cymbal. They went with it, man. They just went with it. That was that. The Rolling Stones are the Rolling Stones. It's like first take band. First take.
Isn't that what rock and roll was supposed to be about originally? It was just getting it done, and if it's
get
it done, it is what it is.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you got other songs
to write. It wasn't supposed to be perfection. It's supposed to be play, don't worry.
It's supposed to be a little loose and a little raw.
Exactly.
And that way, when they're on stage and they're playing it, it's not polished. It sounds like a record.
It's not
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to
the thing.
sound polished.
Yeah.
Rock and roll is supposed to be loose and good time. You know, whatever goes, whatever happens, happens. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about making mistakes where people playing
that are
bad
obvious.
notes. I'm just talking about. It's just good time.
Yeah, good times,
rock and
good vibes.
roll,
Yeah, it's supposed to be organic.
Exactly.
To use
Well,
a hip term, but it makes sense.
well, on that note, Whit, we've got our I guess
I
our
gotta go
closing
cook some
time.
meatballs.
Yeah, he's gotta whip up some Italian drummer style meatball
Oh yeah.
and pasta type stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I enjoyed the talk. It was our first celebrity invite. It's pretty awesome.
in our earliest show, I think we handle ourselves pretty well, Whit.
Yeah, we didn't degrade into filth
Yes.
about halfway through. It was pretty awesome.
Which we can't promise the next show won't do that, but we both thank you, Thommy,
Hey, yeah.
for
Yeah,
taking the time out.
really good talking to you.
Well, nice talking to you, both of you guys. It's a pleasure. And me and Joey are always connected, and
Yeah.
I'm always available, and he knows where to find me.
Yeah, so
I need some drum lessons too. So work that in. We need to figure that out.
yeah, we'll get that figured out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to figure out, the next time he's in the area down there in Texas, let's kidnap him.
Where are you? Are you in San Antonio?
Yes, sir. This is hometown for me. I've been back about 2.5 years, but I got my kit set up. I got a Gretsch Catalina club set ready to go. Just let me know when.
Nice. Well, we'll be. I don't know if we'll be in. We're going to be coming through Texas. We're opening up for the Who.
Yeah, you're playing in Austin, I believe, right?
We're playing Austin, Dallas, Houston. I don't think we're coming through San Antonio, but we'll be pretty close, and we'll hook up one of those dates.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd like to come see you guys in Austin. That's not far at all. So.
Yeah, we'll do it.
And then Whit, I've got my own personal music request. Do you have a guitar around to throw down some old closing Better Late Night Than Never show tunes?
Man, that's a pretty strong request.
No, it's not that. Just pick the guitar up, do a little chime.
What do you want him to do?
It's going to bust out just some fun little... just give me a power chord. Just do a power chord. I don't know.
Well, how about a country song or something?
Yeah,
I don't know if you can hear it over the phone.
Oh, yeah, we can hear it. Just try it out. We're testing new boundaries
Can you hear
tonight.
You hear that?
Yeah. It sounds unique and different and distorted through a speaker, but kind of interesting.
Yeah. We'll get that figured out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out, right?
All right, guys. Y'all enjoy your dinner. It's good talking to you.
All right. Good night, Whitster.
All right, man. It's nice talking to you.
Sure. Bye.
All right, Jose. Good one.
Very good, Thommy. You gave us our best show ever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah, I do.
That was fun. I didn't cuss or anything.